Hi guys, so today I have for you, it doesn't look like much right now because it's still in the box, but it is the Janome, I think that's how you pronounce it, right? It looks like Janome, but Janome Fast Lane sewing machine. It is one of those kind of smaller sewing machines, maybe for a kid, but maybe just for crafts. So if I do have links for it in the description box, those will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission. If you were to purchase items to those links, I did grab this one, and I think when I ordered it, there was only a couple left, so I don't know if this color would still be available. They have this little machine everywhere. Like, you can find it on HSN, Amazon, Michael's, probably Joann's. Like, everyone has something similar to this, if not this particular one. And just a ton of different colors. So I think this is fuchsia. Yeah, Fast Lane Fuchsia is the color. Sorry, so I don't even think Fast Lane is the name of the sewing machine, but let's get this out of here. And let's turn that around so we can see a little more. So I picked this up because the other day when I was doing a video, and I don't know if you guys recall, there was a little ding sound, and I might have music over it, so maybe you didn't hear it, but it was my sewing machine that I had before, a little Singer Pixie. I have a ton of sewing machines, like real ones, but those are the ones I kind of pull out to kind of mess around with. Whenever HSN used to have all those different shows, and they would always have like a little junky sewing machine that was like 20 or 30 bucks. Like, I have those. I have a couple in the garage, but like, they do get old and they do get a little rusty if you don't take care of them, and honestly they just don't work as well, or they just stop working. So the Singer Pixie one is not inexpensive, but you know, it probably just ran its life, and I don't know anything about fixing sewing machines, and it's not worth sending to get fixed because it's just like a little cheesy sewing machine, right? So I grabbed this one. The reviews on this are all over the place, so I am going to try it out. I mean, this is obviously a first impression because it's brand new out of the box, but we'll see how it goes, and you know, I'll let you guys know as I work with it how it is. But I'm assuming it's just kind of probably very close to that Singer Pixie, which they don't even make anymore, but they have other little machines. And then of course, you know, here on my channel I have a bunch of reviews for like Singer Stitch So Quick and those kind of machines. The Stitch So Quick too, actually I do like it. It works great. It's a single line stitch, you know, it doesn't do anything fun. So this one has a few stitch functions. You can see there are 10, right? So we have a straight stitch, a little tighter, a little longer. So that's how you're going to control the stitch length, is by the dial here. So there's different ones. And then we have a zigzag that's a little wider, a little thinner, a little tinier. And then we have like that cute little scallop stitch, and then another zigzag that's a little bit different. I'm not sure what that's showing there. Generally in this little area, there's like a little place to keep like bobbins and other things, you know, replacement needles, and hopefully it'll come with some stuff. Usually they come with some stuff, but I don't know, maybe not this one. This is your reverse button here. All the machines, if you have another machine that's similar, they're all very basic and they all pretty much work the same. So I'm just going to go through the basic functions and then we'll go through there. As you can see, you probably put your thread up here, it comes down in here, there's a little arrow, so it goes up in here. You put it in the I always forget the name of this thing that goes up and down. But anyway, there's a little hole there. You're going to put it through there, back down in here. Maybe there's a guide here, and then in through the needle, and then under the presser foot. So super basic. It has a bobbin. And we'll just see how it goes. This is such a cute box because on the side even it has like the pictures of it. Let's read on the back real quick. I just kind of went through all that. Yep, built-in accessory tray, extra high pressure foot lift. That's nice. 10 built-in stitches, easy stitch selection, bobbin, drop-in bobbin, top drop-in. So they're like, oh, this is top of the line stuff here, guys. And then the easy reverse lever. So let me take this out and put it over here. Oh, she looks so cute. It says need help getting started. Now this is bright. She is bright. But for this design that I wanted, this is the only one they had the color. So at the time. And like I said, they go in and out of stock. Well, I didn't say that, but like as far as colors go, they're all the same machine, just tons of different colors. She has a good weight to her. Well, it might have to do with the presser foot, but for a little machine, she feels good. She feels sturdy. Some info here, of course. Let's just check that out real quick, because you know I'm just going to ignore it, but because everything's the same. I mean, honestly, bobbin winding. I might keep this to myself so we can kind of check that out. But it's the same as any other machine. You're going to put your bobbin up on top here. I just want to see what they're showing you. So this is funny. This one doesn't have a little handle on top. But either way, Yeah, that's weird. The picture is not like what is actually on this machine. But that's kind of what I was saying. A lot of machines, they're generic. It's the same kind of thing. Even though the bobbin spool isn't up here, it's back here. You're still going to put it there. You're still going to do, you know, bringing your bobbin thread over here. You're going to put it here, your little bobbin, then you push it over and it winds it and all that kind of stuff. So we'll obviously do all those things. But it is different from the picture. So we'll talk about that. And then of course how to thread it, which is always the same basic with these kind of machines. You know, putting in your bobbin and picking up your bobbin thread, and then you go from there. A question I get very often in a lot of my videos, especially on the ones for the Singer or just anything, about this. They're like, oh, my thread comes up at the top, like it's all bunched up at the top, or it's all bunched up underneath the fabric. So that has to do with, again, something being too loose, your tension, or too taut, right? It's too tight. So all you're gonna do to fix that is mess with the tension, which is this little thing here. And I'll read it over real quick because to me it hardly ever happens, but another issue is I always forget if it's too tight, I think that's when your bobbin thread comes up at the top, and if it's too loose, the bobbin thread gets all jumbled up at the bottom underneath. So that's kind of what they're talking about here. They're saying your correct tension should be like even, you know, bobbin thread kind of going up towards the center of your fabric. You're not gonna be able to see that so much, but you can, I mean, if you're using a very thick fabric. But it should be even. You shouldn't have bobbin thread, this black part, popping up on top. They're showing it black just as an illustration. Or the thread from the top, you know, just bunching it, or all those kind of different things. So there's different issues. So I'll read that off again real quickly just to make sure, so I can reiterate that for you guys, because I always forget which one's which. Like if it's too tight or too loose, what happens. Okay, and then we have, of course, hopefully it has a presser foot. I don't want to control this by hand. I don't think you do anyway. Yeah, good. So I do have some machines where you can control it. You turn on and off up here. I always like having a presser foot. So this one has a pretty nice presser foot. Usually it's like a little junky piece that's like this, and it feels very not great. I mean, this is plastic. Some other ones I have are plastic, but a nice size. So hopefully you can see the difference there between this and like another kind of, you know, low range priced machine. So that's good. And then we have our plug, of course. So I'm just gonna plug this in. Let me open this up and see if it comes with anything. It comes with nothing. Does it even have a bobbin? It should have a bobbin. If it doesn't, I'd be very surprised. The little lift latch thing for the presser foot is right over here. So we're gonna lift that up, take away this piece of paper. Okay, it does have a bobbin, so I'm gonna grab some thread because we need to put some thread on this. And this is just your regular old bobbin, like any other. I don't remember the numbers, but it's like 10 or 8 or whatever. Just your regular bobbin. You're gonna find this anywhere. You can even find them at CVS sometimes, which I think is interesting. Just a little plastic bobbin. I have old school metal ones too, which are so cute, but for other machines. But anyway, let me grab some thread, and I'm going to plug this in. Actually, let me unwrap this, and then I'll show you how, you know, I'm gonna pick up all this area, and I'll be right back. I might change the angle and things after we're working, because I do still have the little drawer open. I do want to show you when I open this up, the presser foot. It does come with some extra bobbins, so that's nice. It does come with the extra needle and the little needle threader thing. So you can just kind of pop that in there and have that for later. We don't need it right now. Okay, and then I went to my craft room and I grabbed a thread. I was like, oh man, when's the last time I used thread like this? Because usually I have an embroidery machine and I use that quite often, but I don't know. I just have a bunch of bobbins that are wound already. I hardly ever bring out a whole thread. But anyway, especially with these little guys, you can even put a little bobbin on here. Oh, sorry. Instead of like a whole thread spool, you can put a bobbin here and work off of that. So whatever it is that you want to do. So I'm going to open this up. On the side here, there's a little plug. Oh, that's for something else. Hold on. Let me show you. There are 2 plugs. Obviously this doesn't go in there, so this will go in here. And then this little guy is the one that goes in the other jack there. Let's see how long this cord is. I'm gonna undo this right quick. And nice long cord, so of course this needs to go to the floor, so there we go. I'm not gonna show my foot touching this, but obviously you just step on the pedal and that's what makes it go. I'm gonna plug that in right there. I am actually really impressed in how it feels, because I just figured it was gonna feel very plastic and very like lightweight, you know? It has a good weight to it. Okay, let me see. Now these cords of course are tangling on me. Let's undo those. And I'm gonna plug this in the wall. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of weird because what they're showing for the bobbin winding is totally different. It's for like a whole other machine. On top of that, it says to pull this out, and that's not doing it. It doesn't come out, you know what I'm saying? So we're just gonna do this old school. Back here, we have what's gonna hold your spool, and you can just open it up like that. We're gonna take our spool, and I don't even know if this matters. I'm gonna put the string coming off of this way only because that's what it looks like in the picture. But I mean, if you have it this way, you know, I don't know. But it has it this way and it's coming off the back. And hopefully you can see that. And apparently that's how I always do it because I only have a hole on that one side of that spool. You're gonna bring it over and into this little area right here. There's like a little button. You're just gonna bring it in there, kind of floss through there, right? And then we're gonna bring it over here. And I'm gonna grab my bobbin, and the bobbin has several little holes. Just pick one, it doesn't matter which side. Like there's like a little hole right here, there's a little hole right there. You're just going to put your string inside the bobbin through the hole. Okay, so from the inside out. And we're gonna place it on this little guy, and then you're gonna put this over this way. And I am assuming it's on, so I'm gonna hold this, I'm gonna press the presser foot, and hopefully it just starts winding, because if it doesn't, then I don't know what to do. Okay, so I'll be right back. Yeah, there it goes. And I'm holding onto the string a little bit. I can let it go now. It's just, you want to hold it because if you do that and you're not holding that string on the outside, it's just going to fly right off. It's not going to do anything. Now I'm going to keep my foot on the presser foot, and that's that white pedal I showed you, until it fills up, because there's no reason to just stop before it's filled up. So it'll actually, usually they stop on their own, because this little piece right here, don't put your fingers in there, this thing touches it and stops it, you know, the pressure from that. But you can also just eyeball it and stop. Take your foot off the gas, off the pedal when you're ready. But I'm just gonna let it keep going till it's pretty much filled up. That way we don't have to do this very often. All right, I'll be back. Okay, we're kind of getting there. It's only been a few seconds. I don't know if you can see there. See how it's like not doing it anymore? It's kind of like stop, stop, stop. So we're done. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off. And then just push it back, pop it off. And then if you still have that little string sticking out, which normally, sometimes I'll stop the machine and cut it off. I don't know where it went. It's not there. So I guess we're good. I usually just stop the machine and cut the little excess off, you know, then keep going, but I didn't this time. So we have our bobbin ready. And what we're gonna do now is go ahead and thread this. This is before you begin to thread, make sure the presser foot is in the up position, and it's already in the up position from before when I lifted it up to open up the bobbin and all that. So it's already up, this part here, this little latch. It says to make sure it's up and that the needle is at the highest position. So we're gonna turn this until our needle, you see it's already moving up. It feels really nice and smooth. Right there, if I keep turning it, it's gonna start going back down, okay? So at the highest position, there we go. And you know me, I'll never remove this plastic because that's just how I am. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go ahead and remove our thread from that this piece, because we don't need it. What you're gonna do is let it run behind it, not looped all the way back over here. Of course, we don't need to do that anymore. There is a little like latch here. So we're gonna put our thread down in there. And I'm not even looking at the directions because this is basically how any machine, you just keep going. You're gonna go down through here. There's arrows on the machine that show you. So down in here, this arrow shows you go loop back up. So we're gonna loop back up. And our little, oop, did not catch. Go in there, there we go. Do you see when I pulled it back up, it just came back up here? No, we want it on this side over here. It's coming back up through here. You're gonna loop it through, thread it through, should I say, this little hole that's actually a really nice size, so it's very easy to do. So from right to left, now it's already caught there, and that's why you have to have your needle at the highest position, because this thing comes up. And then right back down where you came from, so we're going right back down. And I haven't looked at this machine far enough to know, okay, because sometimes there'll be another guide here or you have to pop it in somewhere, but I think from here we're just going right into the needle. Now I'm way far away from this machine, so let me try to get close. And now you can put your needle threader in here. It looks like the hole is facing us, the hole of the needle. Let me close up just a little bit. I'm gonna try to do this so I can hold it for you, but also, oh, you know what? That's as close as we can get. Oh no, there it goes. I was gonna say, how is that possible? Hold on. Okay, So hopefully you can see the little hole. It's facing us. Everything in here is very big. Like, you can see everything pretty well. Having said that, I might have to, you know, if I can get this in the needle from up here, I will be very surprised. You guys, I need to bring this closer. Okay, I have to do this off camera because there's no way I'm going to do this to show you guys, but just take the thread and get it through that little hole, front to back, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I have the smallest amount in there. I'm just going to pull it through, and as I pull through, I'm going to go under the presser foot, okay? You don't want to like tangle it up or wind it around your needle, just under the presser foot in between, because the presser foot does have a little space there for the thread to kind of go through, and you pull it out towards the back, okay? Now, bobbin. That would be the next thing that they discuss here. What's funny about it is that it is showing you like the most old school bobbin in the world, where you actually remove the bobbin, you take it out, you pop the thing in, and then put it in there. That's not what this machine has. This metal case, it doesn't have that. So I just want to make sure that we're doing this correctly. And then we're unwinding it. It does tell you to insert your bobbin so that the, I don't know if you can see, the thread's spooling off of it this way. So I'll still do that the same. Which means I'm holding it like this so that the thread is up here, okay? So when it gets pulled, let me just look at that and verify that again, because that's how quickly I forget things. Yeah, okay, so the thread is going in this direction, right? But when I put it down in here, I'm gonna put it down, I'm turning it over, guys. And the reason I'm doing that is because also in that, after you do that, you're gonna put the bobbin in this way with that metal piece on top, which we don't have that. I don't know why they're even showing that. So, the thread's going out this way at this point. I'm going to pop it in here, and it's showing you there's a little tiny, oops, sorry for that fast transition there. There's a little tiny arrow that's showing this way. So what you're going to do is grab that thread that you just brought in, and it's spooling out that way. You're going to pull it so that it goes into this little silver area. I hope my finger wasn't in the way. I can do it again. So our thread right now is going that way, but you're pulling it so that it catches this little tiny silver opening. There's a little opening there. So you're going to pull your thread, and I'm holding the bobbin because otherwise it moves. And there, I don't know if you heard it, right? Click. Now it's ready to go. We're just going to leave the thread kind of hanging out right there. I think I can place this down and not have be a problem. So I'm going to replace our little bobbin cover. And so now we can put the foot down if you want, or you can leave it up and then bring it down. But I'm going to put the foot down, again with that same presser foot lever, and I'm going to turn the handle. I'm holding the thread that's coming out of the needle. I'm going to hold that thread, okay? Because that thread, we want it to stay up. And then the other one that's coming out of the bobbin, I don't care, just leave it alone. But I'm holding the thread that's coming out of the needle, and I'm going to turn my handle. And what's going to happen is that the needle is going to go down, and it is going to catch the bobbin thread, at least it should, and then you can pull it up together. So let's let that happen again. It's not pulling it up. Let me lift this up. Let's try it again without that. There it goes. Okay. So don't put the presser foot down. You guys, I had to guess at this because, again, these are different machines and they don't have the thing. So I'm still turning the handle, keep turning it, and it pulled up my bobbin. I'm just trying to get this out of the way here. At least it did for a second. Let's do that again. Where are you coming from, bobbin? What are you doing? Okay, there we go. There we go. What I'm gonna do is pull it up completely. You want the bobbin thread to catch, and then you just bring it up. So that's all I'm gonna do. There's a little loop. I know it's hard to see. You'll see when you do yours. There's a little loop. Just pull it out, and let's put this down. And it should start sewing correctly after this, but we'll see. Let me put the cover back on. Again, I kind of had to guess at that because pretty much all the machines work the same, but you never know. So we have our bobbin thread out, and let me grab a piece of scrap paper or something to quickly sew on. I'll be right back. Angle just a little bit. I grabbed like the weirdest thing to sew on, just a piece of paper. And I'm going to move down our presser foot. So this is our little latch here. Whenever I start sewing, I hold both threads in my hand, And then I'll turn this knob myself until the needle goes down. And that way, you know, none of this is gonna fall out. Now we have plenty because of the way we had to start it, but sometimes you have a little bit of thread and it'll just come out because the needle, the machine takes some back in, right? And right now we are set on A, so it's just a regular straight stitch, and I am going to do that. So I'm just going to press my foot, and then whenever you're sewing, obviously this is just paper, you can press the reverse button. So I hold it down and it'll go back and tack down your stitches and then go forward again. It feels really nice. It feels, we'll see about our bobbin. And then let's say that's the end of my stitch. I'm going to hold down reverse and then I'm going to do it again and be done. And when I'm done, I just raise the handle, the needle myself. And usually you want to raise it to the highest position because that's what loosens it so you can pull it out like this, right? And then I always drop that down to hold on to my thread because otherwise the thread's just kind of loosey-goosey there. Let's look at this. Wow, for a little machine, honestly, it's not super expensive. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know if you can see this little bump, 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 bump. That is actually the bobbin thread coming through. It's so high that it's being pulled through. So that's not the greatest because that means my tension, the top thread is just like, just going along. It's not getting pushed into the paper. So we will have to play with that a little bit. Let me read what this thing says again about tension and we'll try it again. As I'm reading about the tension stuff, so the guide I was looking at is just like the quick start guide, and the actual book is very detailed for this machine, okay? So I know I was talking about the other one. I mean, honestly, it has everything. Like I told you guys, I usually cut that little thread off after I've wound a little bit, and I didn't do it this time, but they are showing you to do that. That's a good tip, and then all that kind of stuff. Yeah, everything's in here, specifically for this machine, as you can see where you put the thread and all that, right? Bobbin winding. So I'm just gonna read a little more because, yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm doing it right as far as that, because generally when you first open up a machine, yeah, I got that. That's perfect, going through, okay. I think I'm just gonna mess with the tension then, because I just want to make sure that I did wind it correctly, and like I said, most machines are exactly the same, the way they work. And yeah, we got that. Okay, so here it is. There is a little area here, so that might be one of the reasons why, because the tension's coming straight from here to there, right? So let me open this up. And let's look at this. There's this little piece, and I stuck my finger in there, but it didn't feel open to me, so that's why I didn't care about that. Apparently, we gotta go into this. Sorry, guys. Oh, there it goes. There's a little opening on the left here to catch in this little black rung. And now I'm gonna thread it through the needle, and let's see if that helps out, because if that works, then I'm happy instead of messing with the tension. I never wanna mess with the tension. For me, once you start playing with the tension, it's just, I don't like that. But okay, I'm gonna get this back in the needle, and we'll try it again. And again here, I just want to show you, once it goes through the needle, it goes in this slit right inside of here. So just bring it straight back. Okay, and we're gonna try it again. Same thing, I have it on the same setting, I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm gonna bring this down. I always hold my strings in the back. I always get it started by actually just doing this manually. I'm turning it towards me. If you turn it backwards, that's fine too. It's just gonna go backwards instead of forward. And now I'm gonna press the lever. I'm gonna go back with the reverse and then keep going. And hopefully that'll take care of it, because like I said, I don't wanna mess with it. It's very, they do have a whole section talking about what happens. I'm gonna go reverse just for funsies and then back forward. And then again, I lift it up manually. I always turn it towards me to the highest position. Open up the lever here, and hopefully that took care of it, because honestly I don't want to mess with this anymore. It is better. It's not great, but this is also just paper that I'm sewing on. I don't know if you can see. It does look a little better. I can still see a little of that knob, but here it was huge, right? So I think that's a better thing. I will mention to you on here, it does talk about it, and it's kind of cute, because this is the thing that always messes people up, is the tension. If that does mess you up, it says, pro tip, problems with your seam are the opposite of what you might think. If the thread is looping on the underside of your seam, recheck the upper threading on your machine. And that's what I did. I just made sure this was threaded right, and hey, I missed that little black area, so that worked out, and that did help out, right? Otherwise, conversely, if the thread is looping on top, make sure the bobbin thread is coming off the bobbin counterclockwise and the thread is securely threaded in the bobbin tension guide, and we did all that, and then it says to refer to page 10 over here if you have issues. And so I was checking that out. Okay, well, let's be happy with that. Let's try a fun one. I know this is just paper, but let's try one of the fun settings. So now we're on A, right? And you know what? Always make sure you're securely on the one that you want. I didn't check that at the beginning. Let's do I just to be fun. So I'm switching this over to I, and I don't know if you saw the needle moving. It's so cute because sometimes it has to start in a different spot. So we went over to I, the needle moved, and I'm going to see if this has any. It says needle thread tension should be 1 to 4. It's already on 4. It says the tension should be between 1 and 4, so I'm going to leave it on 4. Sew the stitches approximately 3/8 inch inside the edge of the fabric, and then you trim out outside of your fabric if you want. So let's just try it out just to see. I probably will never use this stitch again, but again, I hold my threads, I'm turning the handle, and I'm going to press my lever. And it still advances and does what it needs to do on its own. Of course, you want to hold your paper steady. I did not reverse on this one because I don't know if that's a thing you should do, but maybe you start off with a straight stitch and then tack it down and go back and then start with your decorative stitches. I'm just holding it. It's pretty smooth because I'm barely holding it earlier and it's going straight instead of like kind of wonky and doing funny things, right? So let's just be done here. I don't know. Okay. And it's pretty much already at the highest area. I'm going to lift this up. Oh, you guys. That is so cute. It's not super, what's the word, consistent? I don't know, because you see this one's a little more squishy, but that's kind of where I started touching it. Remember, I put my hand, and that's about where I did that. So I probably should have just let the machine kind of do its own thing. But pretty cute. All right, let's do a zigzag just real quick. Let's do H, I don't know. Okay. Right here, and I'll just start with that. Oh, we got lots of strings. Holding on to our strings. Hopefully I hold the right ones right now. I just hold all of them since I'm not sure. And bring my needle down and pressing. That is a really cute scallop stitch. Oh, my paper, not my paper, my thread broke, which is not uncommon. That's okay, I can just thread it back through. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's a tight little zigzag. Aww. So cute. Okay, I'm going to bring over something just to actually do some work. I'm going to rethread this because, again, my thread broke. And this thread is ancient, so I'm not super surprised by that. I told you guys, I was like, I didn't know I even had thread. So I will rethread this, which, again, is just finishing it off, bringing it through this little loop on the left of the needle, at the top of the needle, and then back through my needle, okay? So I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm over here in my craft space because I'm just going to cut a little piece of paper. We're going to make a paper ruffle, and you might think, why is she using paper? Because that's what I do. So I'm going to sew this up. If I can find some fabric in here somewhere, or maybe I'll cut a little piece of fabric that I can sew up a quick little bag or pouch or something, I don't know. But so I'm going to cut this 12-inch piece of paper at 1.5 inches. It's not the thickest paper, but it's not super thin either. We're just going to make a quick paper ruffle, and this is one I made the other day. I haven't sewn it, so maybe I'll do that, but I just want to show you kind of what I'm going for. And I like the way this one came out, so I'm going to pay attention to that. All we're going to do, it's like 1.5 inches by 12, and these folds, to make it fun and quirky, I'm going to fold it this way, and I'm kind of pushing it down to make an angle. Do you see how? Not super deep, but still an angle. And then this time I'm going to bring it back to bring it kind of back up. See how it's kind of angled this way? What I need to do one day is deconstruct one, and I'm going to go back this way and bring it back pretty much straight again if you want, or a little bit wonky, and see what that looks like as actual score lines. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, it's probably angled, 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 you know? And if you really like something, you can just continue copying it. Now I'm going to squish it again and squish it back, and maybe this time it's a little more straight. And then I'm going to go back again and back over here. Now I have this in my hand. But what you really want to do is make it as long as the project what you want, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, this is already 4 inches. I'm going to cut a little bit off of there, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe we'll try to go for like 5-inch square. I don't know. Not square, but see my ruffle starting to do something funny there. I don't want that. What do I want? What do I want? Oh yeah, I want to fold it forward here. and then back. Where are we at? That makes it about 4. And then maybe back this way and straight again. I know that's super wonky. I kind of like this one better, the way it turned out. But I have more facing forward than I do in the back. Maybe you like the back one, you know? Let's see. That is 4, 5 and a quarter-ish. That sounds good to me. I'm going to bring it out just a little bit here. And then I'm going to give it a real good squish. And then here I'm going to go ahead and make it a little dovetail, and I'm just going to go to the center and then edge to the center again. And sorry if you hear that neighbor's gardener. From there to there. And I'm going to bring this over to my machine. I'll be right back. Quickly, I don't know if you saw there, or hopefully, right before this, I went ahead and made like a little pouch. Like, honestly, this is the most basic thing. I just wanted to show you the 2 different colors. So like, this is orange and this is red, so you can see it very clearly. And then I'm just going to sew down the sides. Now this is felt. It's not the thickest felt in the world, but that should give you a good idea of how this works. I'm going to go to B. Okay, I just want to see how that clicked. Okay. So as you're moving, I just want to hear kind of how it clicks in. And just going to go for it. So I'm starting on the edge. Now, generally presser foots from the middle to the edge is a 1/4 inch. Sometimes they'll have like measurements along the side, some machines. This one, you know, I'm just going to follow the very edge of this, which is kind of a lot. To be honest, I'll probably should be splitting the difference, but right now, since I'm so far back and the camera's like in front of me, it's easier for me to see. If I just do that, I'm going to put down my presser foot. I'm going to hold my strings. I'm going to go ahead and bring down my my needle, and I'm going to give it just a little bit, and then I'm going to reverse it, and then I'm going to keep going all along the edge. What was that noise? And I'm going to pick up my foot. I'm going to put down my needle. And that looks about 1/4 inch. Ooh, good job. So I picked up the presser foot, we pivot, and I'm going to go forward again until I get to where I think I should turn again. Maybe right there. Bring down my needle, lift this up. If you don't bring down your needle, your project will just be floating, and then when you go to turn it, it's just going to turn somewhere weird. So I always put my needle back down and then go back up the edge until I get right to the beginning again. And it's just a little pouch that we just made. Reverse, go back forward, and it's pretty much at the highest level right now. I'm just gonna lift up the presser foot, release everything, and now we have this little sewn pouch that I can add, you know, a snap. If I want to put the snap, I could have already done it, but I'm gonna put a little snap on there just to show you, sewing something, right? Obviously, we're gonna clean up the stitches. And let's go ahead and sew up our ruffle, which is several layers of paper. Okay, so here comes the sun. We'll see how that affects this video, but okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna run this one through. Sorry, I took a pause. I would have just gone right to it, but my son came into the room. So that's a pretty good, what's it called? Stitch. I like that stitch length. Oh, and I want to show you, it does look much better as far as the stitch here. And again, this is fabric where this is paper, so it's just very thin. It's hard to embed the threads, right? So it looks a little bit different. Okay, I'm gonna lift this up. I do not have this glued or anything like that. I'm just gonna hold it as I go, and hopefully it doesn't unravel on me. Again, I'm holding my strings. I'm gonna lower my presser foot, and I'm just gonna go for it. So now, the presser foot. If you just press all the way down, it's gonna go as fast as it can. If you want it to go a little slower, press it down a little slower, a little less, right? So that's what I'm doing right now to give me time to gather up my little papers so they can go through. I did not take the time to go back through because I don't care about that for this, to tack it down. Am I high? There we go. Am I at the highest point is what I was going to say, not just am I high. Okay, and just cut those off. And I mean, that's several layers of paper, and I mean, even in some places, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right under here, it did it nicely. You know, the little hole you're seeing, it's not the thread, it's just the hole, the puncture hole, right? So on this side, it's nice and clean. Yeah, I'm actually more impressed than I thought I would be, just because, again, it's the new home, it says Janome. Just the reviews are all over the place, and sometimes people leave reviews like, arrived late or something. It's like, what does that have to do with the product? I need to know about this product. So I'll keep working with it. Again, we have our little storage here. One thing I did notice, it does not have a light, and I was like, does it? Maybe. Nope, it doesn't have a little light down here. A lot of, even some of the lower costing machines do have a little something, but do I ever use it? No. But, you know, it's an option. It does have metal screws. I feel like something about it just feels sturdier and heavier, and I don't know. It is a plastic housing, but I'm like, is this... I don't know. Interesting. But yeah, so I'll just keep working with it. Of course, I'll let you guys know, you know, here and there as I'm using it. This is a very initial tryout of it. But thanks for watching, guys. I will have links in the description box and some images, I guess, of some of the items, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.